Thank you so much for coming. Before we get started, I'll make a few introductions. I'm Christy Black. I'm the District Director for Congresswoman Spanberger's office. With us from DC, we have Connor in the back and Libby. And then from the district team over here, we have Sean, Mark, Mackenzie, and Natalie. The district team is here for you if you ever need any help with a federal agency or anything that we can do for the Carver Center, give us a call. We'll go ahead and get started, and first speaker is Reverend Lewis.
I like that. She could have left that doctor part on there if she wanted to. I'll gladly accept it. First of all, we want to say good morning to everyone, and we're so thankful and grateful to see so many who's come out to celebrate with us, I'll say, and on this beautiful day. And I got to be careful that while I'm up here, I don't start preaching, because I always like to say, this is a beautiful day that the Lord has made. Amen. We are happy, and we ought to rejoice in this wonderful and beautiful day that He has given unto us. So we just want to say that as we welcome Congresswoman Spanberger here today and all of her staff, we're just so grateful and thankful for all that she's done and what she is, for all of her energy and inspiration in acquiring the funds that has been given to the Carver Center. And truly we are, when we heard of her coming today and being a part of this, we were overjoyed. We opened our doors to her openly, and amen, if we could have had a marching band, we would have had that here too. Amen. And we would have hung gigantic banners and whatever, just welcoming Congresswoman Spanberger to. And I think it's always a great thing when we have our Congress people that don't mind being personable with us. I think that shows the kind of person that they really are. And for spending time here with us at this 74-year-old historic place that have been for learning for African American students for 20 years, from 1948 until 1968. And we hold this very dear to our hearts. The Carver Alumni Association holds it very dear to our hearts. And we just want Congresswoman to know that her presence here today refreshes all of our memories and thoughts. And it also helps us to begin new experiences and enriches our relationships for all of us that are here today, whether it's the government or the local government or the Carver alumni or the Carver Center in itself. We are so thankful for all that's been done. And we look forward to as well, and we want to say in my closing words, because I'm not the speaker today, and as I always do, there's always somebody around me who can do it better than I can. And that's one thing that I've established as the chairperson of this alumni association. And I got people around me who can make me look good. So as you all applaud me today for all that we've done as an association, there's some people here today that has made all of that possible. And it makes my leadership look like I'm really leading, I can tell you, and I appreciate that. So we also look forward to the coming of next year, in the year of 2023, which we will be doing a 75th year celebration of this building, this school. So we can continue to remember, I'll say we can remember the struggles, because it was struggles for a lot of the kids who had to ride all day long. They left home in the dark. They got back home in the dark. And it was not an easy thing. And I even talked to some older ones who wanted to participate in extracurricular activities like band and sports. They had to hitchhike rides back and forth, because there was no transportation for them to take them back and forth in those days. But their determination caused them. And that was a story that I wish I could get this gentleman, but I think he's still alive, but I'm not sure what his health is now. He told a long story about one of the trips one night when they were they always left, and they would start walking. His parents did not know that they were hitchhiking rides home. So they got to Orange one night, and it was raining so hard that they had to find some shelter. So the police stopped them and wanted to know what your boys doing out here walking. And so they thought the police was going to put them up, maybe a hotel or put them in a vehicle or something. He said, now, I want y'all to go right around behind that store there. There's some cardboard around there. I want y'all to go around there and spend the night and cover yourselves up with that cardboard. So when they did get home, that's when he said his parents found out what was going on, and they stopped him from doing it and then there was even some teachers even allowed them to stay with them overnight. So I just say that just to say what had went on in those days. But again, we want to thank Congresswoman Spanberger for being here. Thank her for all of her energy and for her being concerned about this place where we are here today. And again, I want to say we look forward to celebrating, and for all of you to be here to celebrate with us for our 75th year of the George Washington Carver Regional High School. Amen. So at this time, I'm going to introduce the keynote speaker for the Carver Center, for the Carver Alumni Association and the Fort County Museum. None other than a friend and colleague, the Reverend Dr. No, she's not a reverend. I added reverend to her. She added doctor to me, and I added reverend to her. But anyway, Dr. Hortense Beck Hinton Jackson, who, amen.
Good morning. We're passing around titles this morning. Oh, goodness. On behalf of the board of the Carver Fort County Museum, I welcome you today. And I'd like the members of our board to stand. There are several here today. I want you to stand up so you'll know who these people are. We are the staff, the backbone and everything of this museum, and I applaud them. We thank you so much for being here. So, Congresswoman Spanberger, I am so pleased that you are here, and I personally just want to say that you have exceeded all expectations. All expectations that we could have of a congresswoman. And so we're very proud of you and very much still and remain in complete support of what you're doing. I thank you for your communication with us. I thank you for the telephone calls. I thank you for the meetings online. I thank you very much for what you're doing. And Chairman Deal, we thank you and the Board of Supervisors for making this possible. You made the museum possible. Nothing happens without money and without support. And so while the Carver Alumni Association had the vision to have a museum here, we could not have done it if the supervisors had not given us this space and renovated it and brought it up to date so that we could occupy it. We were also blessed with a donation of furniture from Liz and Greg Yates, a phenomenal group of furnishings that we were used to actually open and get started. And then there were other community organizations and people who've just helped us and donated and always been here for every event. And we're very, very thankful for that. I also want to acknowledge a very special person that we came in contact with who made everything that you'll see inside possible, and that's our curator. We were fortunate enough to find Miss Terry Miller, who is in the back, who has helped us in presenting countless exhibits. And it's all about the Carver story. That's what we were designed to put together, to preserve, and to make sure people know. And that's the Carver story. As Reverend Lewis alluded, we began here in 1948. 4 localities did something very unusual and special in that they could come together and agree to build a high school that would serve each of those counties, Culpeper, Madison, Orange, and Rappahannock. And as Reverend Lewis said, folk converged from all those corners to come here from 1948 to 1968. This became a community center for African Americans in all 4 counties with its award-winning athletic program, award-winning music program, award-winning agricultural programs, award-winning home economics programs. All of that happened here in that 20-year period. And those of us who were here had the trajectory of our lives changed by virtue of having this experience. A whole generations of people were impacted by the fact that this school was here. And now that we're honoring the past, we're excited about being here right now in the Carver Center. Kind of a footprint in the past, but ready to go into the future. And ironically, we are still celebrating the legacy of Dr. George Washington Carver, who was a botanist, a scientist, an inventor, and an agricultural phenomenon who just came up with all kinds of products and repurposed things that we use every day. And what are we doing at the Carver Center? We're celebrating agriculture, farming. We're celebrating gardening. We're celebrating new technologies in the back. We're doing all of those same things right now. So we're excited to be here today to be a part of this, and we thank you, Congresswoman Spanberger, for the infusion of money. Because it takes money. So you and your staff, we are appreciative of that. And at the same time, if I don't put this plug in, I'll get hit, because the drawing in there, I am so wonderfully impressed with that futuristic drawing of Carver, because in that picture, the name George Washington Carver Regional High School is on the front. And that is what we, the alumni, want to see restored to this building. And we appreciate your support in doing that. And the roofing project will give us just the right moment to do that. So timing is everything. Thank you for being here today. And as Reverend Lewis said, please come back and celebrate 75 years with us. Thank you. I forgot my last task. I am to introduce, oh my goodness, this is a good friend and a great supporter of us. We can always count on him. If he can't do it, he tells me who can, and that is our chairman of the board, Mr. Gary Deal.
Well, I wanted to go first because that tandem there is hard to follow, and I cannot match the message they gave us, and I can't say anything more than what they've already said. We're so proud of this facility down here and this initiative, and we have a couple board members here today, Supervisor Durr and Supervisor Bates and John Eggerson, our county administrator, and glad that they're here today. But from a board perspective for Culpeper County, we're so proud of this facility, and we want to thank Congresswoman Spanberger for being here too. She's done a lot for our community and continues to do a lot, and we appreciate her in her efforts to do so. I think I can speak for our board members. If we could be remembered for one thing, I think it would be our efforts to build up our community. And when I say that, there's several different meanings that I mean for that, and that is building up the community from a facility standpoint, where we're proud of this initiative. We recently started construction on our rec center field house. We're a $2 million lighting project for our complex, the fields out there, our broadband initiative, and some other projects too. We're proud of all of them. And this project right here is a major part of our community. And the economic development part, we feel like we're preparing for economic development going forward and preparing our community. And these quality of life projects are very important for Culpeper. And I'm so proud, and I know our Board of Supervisors are proud too of what we're doing from that standpoint. But we're also building up our community too from being better educated, okay? I think our CTEC school and this initiative here complement each other, and we're very proud of that. we're more compassionate. I believe we're more compassionate now. We're more diverse. We're more resilient. And being a coach, part-time coach for 40 years, all this kind of brings momentum and confidence to Culpeper and the community. And I'm all about energy and passion. And I know these two that just spoke, they're all about energy and passion, as you can see. So it all kind of comes together, and I'm proud of what we're doing. It kind of relates to I was researching George Washington Carver, and he had a quote, "Where there is no vision, there is no hope." And all this coming together, the vision that we have, the board had, our alumni association, Congresswoman Spanberger, it all comes together to make what our efforts are doing here with Carver a great initiative. The Carver story is still being written by those with vision, the alumni, the Carver partnering organizations, and the community members and staff who are working so hard to revitalize this campus. We have come a long way and have momentum that has been building for years. In the next 18 months, the Carver Center will see over $1.5 million in additional investment. Actually, I anticipate that number to grow as it seems that each funding award secured at Carver becomes a catalyst for the next opportunity. The secured investments represent support from diverse private foundations, our local funds through capital improvement projects, and state and federal grant funds. The projects that are already secured and moving forward include an outdoor classroom with public access to Wi-Fi, a native species greenhouse, cisterns for collecting and reusing rainwater, new windows on the second floor, full renovation of wing of the main floor for our Virginia Cooperative Extension offices, and the construction of a community kitchen, which we're very proud of. We are also currently pursuing restoration of the original engraving on the front of the building. Yes, just like Hortense said earlier, yes. And when Congresswoman Spanberger presents us with this award, I have some people that I would like to come up, and I would like her to present it to everyone here that I'm going to name, because it's a team effort, and I think everybody should be up here receiving this award. Dr. Hortense, Reverend Lewis, the alumni board that was mentioned, Les Daniel. I don't want to leave anybody out, but we're going to wait until Congresswoman Spanberger speaks. But once she speaks, I would like for her to present it to everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. Terry Miller, Les Daniel, Carl Stafford, and Becky Gardner with our Extension Office. Patrick Monty, who's with PD9 and represents PD9. I asked Jack Frazier. Jack Frazier couldn't make it today. Jack Frazier was a very big proponent of this facility here. And he really put a lot of time and effort into this facility, and he couldn't make it today. But thank you, Jack Frazier, what you've done for this project as well. Sue Hansen and Ed Dalrymple, who are here today with Pathways. John Eggerson, our county administrator. Paul Howard, I'm not sure he's here today, but I know how much time he spent down here with the county, scoping out issues and bringing the issues to our Building and Grounds Committee and ultimately our board. Laura Loveday has put a lot of time into this, and our board members that are here today, Supervisor Durr and Supervisor Bates. So when we get to that point, Congresswoman Spanberger, if we could have them come up, I'd like for you to present that to everybody. Thank you very much. And, I forgot my task too, Hortense, like you did. I've written this out because I want to be exact with this, because Congresswoman Spanberger has brought so much to Culpeper. It is my pleasure to introduce Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, representative of Virginia's 7th Congressional District and supporter of the Carver Center. Representative Spanberger has been a proponent for a number of recent federal funding requests made by Culpeper County, including our award of $4.1 million from the Department of Health and Human Services for an early Head Start facility, which is under construction now. And related staffing, and $550,000 from the Department of Justice to establish a drug court in Culpeper County. This year, the U.S. House of Representatives implemented a new effort as part of its annual appropriations process, which allowed for specific community project funding requests, like the Carver Center roof replacement project, to be made. We are grateful for your work. On behalf and the opportunity to share the importance of the Carver Center, not only to Culpeper County, but our region. Ladies and gentlemen, Supervisor Abigail Spanberger. Oh, Congresswoman, I'm sorry.
Everybody's switching up titles. I don't know. I think on some days that sounds like a much better thing. Thank you so much to everyone in Culpeper County. Thank you so much for welcoming me here today. Reverend Lewis, you said a marching band. I would say, I just want to be part of the community. I don't need a marching band. And I'm grateful that time and time again, every time I've come to Culpeper, anytime my teams come to Culpeper, we are welcomed in. We are given the opportunity to see the good work that's happening across this county, the good work that is happening in the schools, in the community, across the board, the things that people care deeply about. And that's the highest honor that you all could give me, is welcoming me time and time again. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm so pleased that we have such an incredible showing of people who care so deeply about this community. And I want to begin by thanking the George Washington Carver Alumni Association for their dedication to the history and the mission of this institution. And thank you, Reverend Lewis, for your kind remarks, and for hosting us here today, and for grounding us in the purpose and the history of this place. I also want to thank the Carver Center team for their ongoing efforts to expand this facility for the enrichment opportunities that they provide here to the greater Culpeper area. And thank you, Dr. Hinton-Jackson, for your comments and for welcoming us to this space. I look forward to touring the Four County Museum following today's events. And I also want to thank Chairman Deal and the members of the Culpeper County Board of Supervisors for recognizing the importance of restoring and maintaining the Carver Center as part of Culpeper's growth and development. Thank you for always being there to help my team understand what's important on the ground here in Culpeper, and thank you for helping my team understand how this community project funding can really deliver tangible results to the larger Culpeper community. Throughout this process, I have always been so grateful and so appreciative of all the local leaders who've provided us with the necessary information as we've gone through this process. Since coming to Congress, my top priorities have really been working to bring federal resources back to the communities that I represent. And so I thank you, Dr. Hinton-Jackson, for your kind words, but I also think perhaps we should be raising expectations of what every community can expect from their representatives. I'm proud to exceed your expectations, but I hope long-term we're actually just raising them. The community project funding process is about directly engaging with communities like Culpeper, figuring out what's needed on the ground, and working hard with community leaders and community representatives to understand how we can put forth the best application possible, how we can make the argument, and how we can advocate for the fact that the dollars that we're bringing directly here to Culpeper matter on the ground. So I'm so grateful to everyone here. There were a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of phone calls, a lot of back and forth. And so I'm grateful to my team who walked everyone through the process. And certainly I'm grateful to everybody here in Culpeper when we said, one more thing, we need one more thing. Thank you for your patience as we've worked to ensure we could secure this funding. And for many years, I've heard about the need for a roof replacement at the Carver Center. We've heard it directly from people in Culpeper. And what was exciting was during this process to see the passion that exists for this place and the excitement that exists across the community for helping bring an extra level of new life and vibrancy to this center. And the programs and the exhibits that are offered by the Carver Center demonstrate the sort of enthusiasm that exists across communities for rural, community-focused education. And so I'm just so appreciative. And I remember a couple years ago, there was an event here, and I was here with my family, and I remember my little girls, who are now medium-sized girls, running about the space, and that was the first time I got to learn about the Carver Center. And so I'm grateful that we've been able to continue working to ensure that long into the future, students of Culpeper and the regional area, and frankly the whole Commonwealth, know of the great work, the history, but also how that history can be pivoted into an incredibly important future. I'm proud that the President has officially assigned this investment into law. And as everyone knows, the Carver Center building was first named after George Washington Carver, an acclaimed African-American researcher who was a pioneer in the world of agriculture and someone far ahead of his time. And so with this funding, we're building on his legacy. And we're building on his legacy here in Virginia and hopefully beyond that. We're remembering the past while also looking into the future of education, into the future of Culpeper, into the future of agriculture, into the future of industry, and really into the future of the surrounding area. So I'm excited that we'll be standing under a new roof at this landmark, at this important landmark into the future. And it's with that I am honored to congratulate Culpeper County, and most especially the George Washington Carver Center, for this award of $200,000 that will go towards making this place what the whole community knows that it is. So thank you so much.